lived in Nashville my whole life, and I can remember being 5 and 6 years old and my mom saying, be home at dinner, and we would just go and play. Very just safe, and seems unbelievable now. I can't imagine letting my 5-year-old wander around the neighborhood. Being out in nature has always been a part of my life. My parents bought some land out in Hickman County between Columbia and Centerville, and so we spent, that was in 5th grade, pretty much every weekend and a couple weeks in the summer there. Once you were there to stay. No running water, no electricity, and we would just stomp around the woods, and my parents built a cabin from scratch. When I went to public high school, my friends came from every neighborhood around. We didn't see race or gender or poverty, we just saw people we loved, and it was hard to find that group at Vanderbilt. It existed, but it was hard. And so I applied my sophomore year to Vanderbilt in France, and then spent my entire junior year at Vanderbilt in Germany. That love of international had come because as a kid, starting when I was about 3, my parents, when my dad would be on sabbatical, would go to Europe somewhere to study. So we lived in Greece for 3 months in the summer when I was 3 or 5, and then we lived in Heidelberg, Germany for 6 months, and then I spent my whole 2nd grade year in the German-speaking part of Switzerland. And my parents put us in the school system, so I learned Swiss on the playground and German in the classroom. When I got back, I was confused. I remember asking my parents, I'm like, am I American? It was actually fascinating and wonderful exposure to culture, different cultures, and I think it's what formed me to be interested and curious about differences, not put off. My mom said as a young child, very early on, her words not mine, that she realized that I could run the house better than she could. And both my grandparents were very entrepreneurial. My grandfathers were entrepreneurial. My mother reminds me regularly that as a child, she would regularly ask us what dreams we have, and she taught a dream interpretation class for a while. She'd write them down, and she said, you've had a dream your whole life. She said the way you would describe it to me was that you were in a building and you were in charge, and the building had different floors, and each floor represented a different country. And on the German floor, they were only speaking German and eating German food and dressed in cultural German garb. And then there's French and Swiss and all the lands that I was familiar with as a child. And she said, and you all would always say that people could go all between them. So you could decide one day you wanted a French experience or a German experience. And so I think in some ways that's one of the things we're creating as a company. It may not be exactly that, but it's inclusive. I'm not employable. I don't think I'm employable. As soon as I realized what could happen when you own your own business and you get to decide what the culture is, and in fact you're responsible for the culture, because you're going to have a culture. The question is it intentional or unintentional? And that you could do that and actually treat people with respect and do all these things that are important to me, that once I made that leap, I wasn't ever going back. I think I have a just general positive outlook gene. And I've met people who've had great upbringings who just are glasses half empty, whereas I'm glasses constantly running over. It's how I'm wired. And I've always seen obstacles as challenges and situations as an opportunity to overcome something. I think absolutely though it was fostered and encouraged by my parents. If you take the position of understanding that you can take some risk and therefore provide jobs and great benefits for people, and hopefully a work environment where they feel heard and respected and understand we want them doing what they love and do really well, and that's what we're trying to get, then we'll have an exceptional business model. And that's what I want to do professionally, is have a place where it can be mundane when you're processing a document or I'm looking at a contract, but when you're in an environment where people truly respect each other and know that we are completely even in terms of humans. We have all sorts of different roles, but nobody's any better than anybody else. Then I think we'll have an unfair advantage for other companies where people get treated like cogs. I'm very protective about that and want it to be a constant. Is we have to call if we have people in the group, in the company, that don't truly buy in. They have to truly buy in that we're all equal. And then I think it helps us do exceptional work and expand in areas that other companies couldn't. I think that I'm good at seeing potential in other people. Like you know that movie The Sixth Sense? Some people see, I see dead people. Like I see possibility in people. I really do. Like I totally see what they like, where they can be their complete and total full self. I see it. I want, not with any public praise, but I love to support someone meeting their goals. I think I'm a really good dreamer. Like I have dozens and dozens of ideas all the time about new businesses, new possibilities. I woke up this morning going, oh, yeah, we could do that. And I just try to journal them all, because if I say them to people, we'll never stay on the track that we have to stay on to get to the next goal. Taking risk, I love doing something new. I'm learning to fly helicopters right now, and it's really hard, and I'm close to soloing, and I'm doing it because it both excites me and intimidates me. I think that one of the things that just comes naturally to me is being open to new experience like that and embracing something that might be frightening otherwise.